Hi viewers, welcome. I'm Greg Gunter, the Dream Pro Realtor here in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. I'm also very proud to say that I'm the broker, along with my business partner Alma, of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. Now, we're proud to say that we're the first and flagship office for Warren Buffett's brand in all of Mexico. We're thrilled to have opened in the middle of a pandemic, believe it or not, and doing very well. Very delighted to be the face of Warren Buffett in Mexico. We're creating a new website, and now that our world has changed so much post-pandemic and we've become much more virtual and much more online, we thought that it would be good to let all of you learn a little bit more about us, me and my team, so you'll get a sense of who we are, a little bit more about us before you actually meet us in person when you finally fly down to San Miguel de Allende to look at homes. So we've created these little fun profile videos that kind of give you a sense of us and our personalities, and I get to be the first one to start this off. So if we're ready to have a little fun, let's go take a look and learn a little bit more about me. What drew me to live in San Miguel de Allende? Well, I'm an architect, so one of the first things that struck me about this 475-year-old city is the architecture. It's incredible. The preserved architecture is phenomenal. I can't even say enough about it. It's got a very European influence to it too, which I absolutely love as an architect that was trained in Western architecture. But I'm not very good at Spanish. My Spanish still, even after 11 years, is not that great. And another thing that appealed to me is this is a very bilingual city. So I love the fact that I didn't have to have perfect Spanish right off the bat. Mi español es mucho mejor ahorita. My Spanish is much better now, but boy, it wasn't that good when I moved here. So you can move here too without having great Spanish. The biggest thing though about what drew me to San Miguel specifically is the lifestyle. Absolutely, I went everywhere else in Mexico first, and nothing could come close to the lifestyle of San Miguel. The cultural scene, the dining scene, the theater, the opera, the symphony, the musical performances that we have. Never a dull moment in this city. The lifestyle, by far, is what drew me to San Miguel. It will you too. Yes, can you believe it? I became a luxury realtor here in Mexico. Before I moved here, I was a commercial retail developer for most of my career, although I started in residential. I've been building homes, believe it or not, since I was 15 with my dad. So I was pre-selling homes to clients and then building those homes myself with my own hands. And later, as an architect, I was designing homes for mass production builders. We would sell thousands of homes to clients, and so I needed to create home plans and designs that would appeal to the broadest market so we could sell as many homes as possible. So, I've been in the residential industry since the age of 15. It just sort of made sense that it would be a natural segue to go into the industry of being a realtor. And I love the marketing, I love the client relations. It was a perfect match for me. Yes, can you believe it? I was the number 2 realtor in the entire country. I'm like Avis. Remember the old Avis commercial? I'm number 2. I try harder. I worked for the largest real estate franchise in the entire country of Mexico and rose to the ranks of being the number 2 in terms of sales production. So I work hard. I sell a lot of homes. Last year I sold 24 homes with 30 clients. So that managed to bump me up to number 2 in the country, number 1 in my office in San Miguel, and then I decided to join Warren Buffett and open Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices. Yes, you might ask why Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices? Why did I join them? Well, they were the only agency that wasn't represented in our town, the only luxury collection, luxury realtor that was not represented in San Miguel, and that's the market that I tend to focus on. But I was really excited to join Warren Buffett's team because they are the top they're creme de la creme. They're the top of the market, and who else would you want to join but the creme de la creme? I mean, they're the largest real estate agency in the world, and Warren Buffett everyone knows Warren Buffett, the famous billionaire from Omaha. So Berkshire Hathaway was my only choice. They're the only folks that I called. Who else would you want to play with? Okay, my favorite local business, well, of course, I can't name myself, so I have to talk about someone else. My favorite local business is a restaurant called The Restaurant, run by Chef Donnie Masterton. He is the epitome of the best businessman in town. His marketing is phenomenal, his business ethics, his morals. He's the best businessman in town as far as I'm concerned. And on top of that, of course, he's the best chef in town. He's up to about 5 restaurants now, and he is definitely my role model from a business perspective from the local San Miguel industry. He's number one. My neighborhood, well, I happen to live in Centro. Now, ironically, Centro is also the most popular neighborhood in all of San Miguel. We sell more homes in Centro than we do any others. Part of that's just because it's a large neighborhood. It's a very large and diverse neighborhood. But in all honesty, I got to say I love living in Centro because we all love the fact that you can walk everywhere. There are other neighborhoods where you can also walk. San Antonio is close, and a number of others, Guadiana, a few other neighborhoods. But Centro for me is just fantastic because I can walk to a restaurant in 9 minutes. I can be in the Jardín in 9 to 10 minutes, which is the heart of the city. I can be at the theater. I can go out on a date, in just a few minutes. If I need to, we can get a taxi and be there in a couple of minutes. But from a walking perspective, it's phenomenal. Everything that you need pretty much is in Centro. You can even do your grocery shopping here, although most of us go to a large superstore that's outside. But as far as I'm concerned, Centro is the place to be. It's my number one. I love it. Our interviewer said to ask about a good read. What do I think is a good read? I'm a lifestyle fan. I'm really lifestyle focused. That's a lot of why I live in San Miguel de Allende. I used to live in Denver and San Diego, which are also very lifestyle cities. My favorite books to read, I'll give you a couple more than just one, even though it said to just name one. Frances Mays is one of my favorite authors. I've met her several times. I've read and listened to Under the Tuscan Sun, I don't know how many dozens of times, talking about the lifestyle of Tuscany, Italy. That's one of my favorites. But I love Peter Mails. He writes The Year in Provence and all those Provence books. They're all lifestyle oriented, and I love that orientation. That's really what drew me down to Mexico. I'll give you another great one to look up that you probably haven't heard about yet because it's not quite as well known. There's an author named Tony Cohen, and he wrote a book called On Mexican Time, and it was about his experience of moving down to San Miguel de Allende. I believe it was in the early 80s. And he talks about the adjustment of learning to live on Mexican time. But it's a charming and really cute insight into living in San Miguel. Go look it up. My favorite ice cream, that's good. Who came up with these questions? Okay, I got to tell you, my favorite, I'm not a deadhead even, but my favorite ice cream is Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia. Whew, if you've ever had it, it's addictive. The black cherries and the big chunks of dark chocolate, it's phenomenal. So if you're coming down to visit San Miguel de Allende, could you sneak one into your suitcase for me, please? Wow, my fashion or style icon. Well, if you lived here, you'd already know this about me. Everybody in town knows that I'm the Ralph Lauren guy. I'm always wearing polo, Ralph Lauren polo in particular. I love his fashion sense. I'm really a polo fanatic, so I'm dressed like a polo player most of the time. La Martina is another one of my favorites. But I love Ralph Lauren also from the standpoint of really being a style icon. He manifests a lifestyle that we all desire and shoot for and aim for and would love to fantasize about. So in all honesty, Ralph Lauren is my guy that I look up to. Oh, this is a good one, team. If you lived here, you'd also know this one about me. I'm never without my day timer. If it's waking hours and I'm working, I'm always with my day timer. I've been using one for 40 years. It's always at my elbow. It's what keeps me organized. I'm a Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People kind of guy. That's what I follow, and the day timer is always at my elbow. If I'm doing business, when we get ready to do showings together, you're going to see me with my day timer. What I'm grateful for, well, that's an easy one. Probably most of us have a very similar answer. I'm very grateful for my family, of course. My mom is still alive. I have a sister who's also a realtor, by the way, and a brother, and nieces and nephews that I have a lot of incredible travel memories where I used to take them, several places that we never got to go as kids. It was always fun taking the kids wherever they kind of wanted to go. My nephews have even been down here to San Miguel to visit. So I'm very grateful for my family. And the funny thing is I don't have kids now. Never had kids. I don't have kids now. And so I've got that ability to have that quiet time in the morning. And so I do my gratitude list in the morning, sitting in bed for the first 30 minutes or so and kind of go through that gratitude list. And obviously family and health are among the top ones. But I know this is going to sound trite again too, but I'm really grateful that I live this lifestyle that I do in this incredible city called San Miguel de Allende. It's been the highlight of my life, and like I said, I've lived in some incredible cities, but man, I tell you, I'm really grateful to be living in San Miguel de Allende. My favorite local event, well, again, if you knew me, you'd know that I'm a big Italian fan, and I'm also a big fan of wine. So I got to tell you, we have a ton of activities in town, but one of my favorites that happens every August is our Vendemmia events here, the wine harvest events. We have several wineries around town. You know, we're the second biggest wine district in all of Mexico, so I love that aspect of it. But what's really fun is they all celebrate in August, which is a little bit early for Vendemmia. Vendemmia is normally in September in Italy and much of Europe. But we have a big Vendemmia event every weekend where everybody goes out and stomps the grapes and, you know, has a great time tasting the different types of wine. And one of them is on the polo field, so you get to watch a polo game. I love the Vendemmia events. If you're down here in August, make sure you book one too, because you're going to love them too. My favorite client closing memory, gosh, I've had a few hundred closings. So, but you know, okay, I got to tell you, probably one of my favorites. This will get me misty-eyed. I remember doing showings with this couple that were clients and had sort of become friends, and they are still to this day. And as we were walking through the house that they ultimately bought, I was admiring a painting that was on the wall and just waxing poetic about how I love the artist. She was a friend of mine. She's passed away. She had passed away at the time that we had actually seen the painting. And I said, oh, she does these incredible Renaissance art reproductions. And again, I'm an Italian fanatic, so I love Renaissance art. And Patty's works were always one of my favorites. And they just kind of nodded and listened politely and the whole thing. And here we are at closing. We go through the whole closing process and sign off on everything. And lo and behold, after the closing, they unveiled to me this painting that they had inherited with the house. And they said, it's our gift to you, Greg, for being such a fantastic realtor. And I was just misty-eyed about that. That painting obviously hangs in this house to this very day. I love it. It's my favorite client closing memory. My dream home. Remember that Stephen Stills song, Love the One You're With? Us architects are sort of like that about our houses. We love the house that we're living in. I mean, I designed a beautiful Umbrian fattoria in Colorado. I had all the materials shipped over from Italy and built this incredible $2 million mansion in Colorado, all with Italian materials, Italian antiques. But I got to tell you, I love this home that I'm living in now. This is my current dream home. It's a Spanish colonial home from a design aesthetic, but it's got a good European sort of architectural influence to it. So it really blends well with my lifestyle and my antiques. I've got a lot of Italian and French antiques, and so this is definitely my dream home. I think you might like to see it, as a matter of fact. I've done a separate video profile to show my home and my lifestyle, mostly to show the architecture to you all so you can see what dream homes look like. So join me for the next video. It's in my profile page right next to this one, and take a look at what my home looks like. You'll see it next in the next video. Hey team, it's been great sharing a little bit more about me and my personality with you. I hope that you enjoyed it too. I think it would be a great match, yes? Come on down and let's talk. I'd love to talk more about your lifestyle, your new lifestyle, and your dream home here in San Miguel, so give me a call. Let's chat on the phone. You'll learn more about it, and we'll have a new dream home for you shortly.